Okay, 3, 2, 1. Wait. No.
Oh my god.
No. I was
Why
going to
did
give
you
you
do
that. I was
that?
going to give you that one. Okay.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. Okay, welcome to Beer Broadcast episode 5.
It's not beer broadcast anymore.
Welcome to Good Not Great episode 5.
That's a bad sign when you don't know the name of your own podcast.
Where we're going to be discussing beer. We're going to be discussing maybe future prospects for the podcast. We have a topic carryover from last week.
Oh yeah, homebrewing.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we're going to get into all of that in a minute, but first we're going to introduce what we have here in front of us.
Sure.
So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I am drinking Al's Boring Beer by Bradley Brew Project. We talked about this last week, and this was the one that they did. That was it was like a special. Like there was like donations made from it. So when they sold it, they took a cut and they donated that back. I don't remember the name again. I did this last week. I can't remember the name, but Boomer Esiason.
Boomer Esiason. And it is for
I think that's right.
Multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
We're going to look like real assholes if that's wrong.
I have the first half.
You know,
I'm pretty sure I'm saying the first half right.
Boomer.
John's pretty sure he's saying the second half right.
Oh, the whole name. You think you're saying the whole name?
I'm saying the name right.
Okay.
I don't know if you're saying what it's for right, but I don't know. I have zero guesses, so I hope that you're...
Yeah. I think it's multiple sclerosis. We could bring it up. We have a new engineer here. We don't know if he knows how to bring it up. We're going to test him out real quick.
Of course he does.
Chris, right?
Yeah.
Chris is our guy.
This is it's an IPA with Citra, Mosaic, and Cashmere. No wonder it's awesome. And this is what we were talking about last week too, the labels. This is one of those labels that like does not fit the trend that's happening right now.
It's perfect.
It is, because right now like labels have to stand out on a shelf. They're colorful, they're abstract, they're funny, they're
You
novel.
should say that. You're
Right.
sitting next to this.
Yeah. And then this actually stands out probably better than any other label on a shelf right now because of how just stark white it is.
Yep.
And that's the point. I mean, obviously by the name, Al's Boring Beer.
Boomer.
I think they nailed it.
What is it?
Boomer E. Saison?
No, that's That's the name of a saison.
Oh, are you looking for
This is Boomer.
I mean, that's how it's spelled, though.
Yeah, that is
Boomer psoriasin.
No.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
Okay. Every time I see something called boring, I think about Elon Musk, which is kind of
His Boring Company.
yeah.
I was just
It's
talking
a
about
funny
that the other day.
joke to put in like a
It is.
yeah.
Like
The richest man in the world.
the boring model or like boring.
Well, they're the boring company,
With the mini
and they
flamethrower.
create tunnels.
Yes. That's how
Yeah.
they got funding, or they
Yeah.
like started getting money to afford
They create tunnels.
kicking things off.
Boomer.
No, that's not it either.
No.
This is because this
It's
is
some
now
boomer.
this is now like crossing over into like
Who's the brand?
saison. Well, it's boomer. Well, does it say that here? Oh, okay. Proceeds will benefit the Boomer ESIASON Foundation.
Esiason.
Is that what I said or no?
Yeah, I think you got it right.
I should have just read the label.
The football player.
Yes.
Yep. Great guy.
Yep.
Great guy.
Broadcaster. And the foundation is for.
Or I'm going multiple sclerosis.
I think
You had that. You had
Here
that in
we
your head
go.
for a reason.
Cystic fibrosis. Oh,
So easy to mess up.
Yeah. No,
Yep. I was close.
You should
It's
probably.
2 words. It's
you
got
should
an
be-
osis.
You should feel really bad about yourself.
Okay.
So that's what I'm drinking. We have Bradley Brew Project on the show, I think, for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I
there's a good
actually brought
reason.
one here too.
There's a good reason for it. They're killing it right now.
And they're releasing a lot of like unique things that are just every one I taste is awesome.
It's not the typical IPA that's happening with everybody else right now. They're doing the stouts. They're doing something different, which is cool because if you see their location, you see their setup, you'd be amazed how much beer they're producing in such a relatively small operation.
Yep.
Which is amazing.
Speaking of new releases, did you see the Source beer came out? It was a Carrie Strug tribute beer.
Yes,
And
I
I
got that
first-
delivered.
You got it?
I got it delivered.
Did you try it yet?
No, I didn't try it yet.
I haven't tried mine yet either. But Carrie Strug, That's awesome that they're doing a tribute like that. So the idea
I
is
think
that
it's a
they're
whole
going to do.
series. Oh,
They're going
sorry,
to
did I
do. Yeah,
spoil it?
no, it's fine. They're
Go
going to
ahead.
do a series of essentially like Olympic tribute beers. Hopefully, the theme is like, people with that like kind of Olympic hero type spirit. Because I mean,
sure.
yeah, I had to go back and watch the video. My wife and I had a big disagreement about whether she broke her foot.
Oh,
I don't think she did. So like not that impressive.
What was the alternative though? That she just sprained it?
No, she tore like a bunch of ligaments. So pretty good.
That seems pretty impressive.
Yeah,
though.
no, I was just kidding.
I don't.
No, it's really good.
I was gonna say I don't know where you draw the line between like what's more painful, either a sprain or a torn ligament or a broken foot.
Yeah, ligament might be worse, right?
Might be.
I'll go back and watch the video. Like I really like. You feel a lot from the video. The way that you have the music in the background. We should do that on the podcast. Just like, dun dun. Like the like hopeful music.
Should that just be our intro from now on? Just us.
Maybe.
Just like
We can't nail the bottle opening or the can opening. So
well, if we count to 3 and then you say wait on 3.
well, you didn't wait. Okay, so what I have here is I have a beer with abstract kidney shapes, kidney bean boomerangs on it. And this is from Vault Brewing. They're based in Yardley, Pennsylvania. This one is called 5 C's. It is an IPA with 5 hops that all start with C. So, did you bring me this? No. Citra, Cascade, Centennial, Chinook, and Columbus. I went to the brewery in person the other day, and I also, while I was there, had the best chicken sandwich of my entire life. And I should also preface that by saying I don't super like chicken.
Can we talk really quickly about how you still need to eat what was it called? Memphis what? Chicken sandwich?
Oh, I've had one.
Not with me.
I've had one in Nashville, which is where it's from.
Doesn't count. So John owes me a hot chicken sandwich that he has to eat because I ate one time. I think it was on a challenge or like a dare or something. And
You ate one and spent the whole time sweating and insisting that it was the hot one because they have a hot and a mild.
Yeah, I think they got it
And then
wrong.
at the end of the meal, we asked them, and she's like, "No, that's the mild."
Yeah.
You opened the sandwich so that she could look at it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's the mild."
It was pretty bad. It was. I was sweating. I think I was crying.
It was Cardinal in Asbury Park.
Yeah, that
And then we
place
went back,
is-
and they don't have the sandwich anymore.
Right,
so.
which is really disappointing. So we have to go find a place that has. And you said you were going to eat the hotter one. So we have to go find a place that
Absolutely.
has the hottest chicken sandwich we can find. So if anybody knows a place to find a hot chicken sandwich, John's up. And
I also have to say, I have some spice experience behind me.
tell us more.
Okay, so back in the day, we decided that we wanted to eat the spiciest food that existed. So we looked up what it was at the time, and it was called the Fall Curry, Phaal curry. Yeah, you had it?
I know what it is. I saw the LA Beast eat it.
It was insane.
If that is okay,
It
so
was
that
at
means
a
it's
place
probably
called
pretty
Brick
hot.
Lane Curry House in New York City. So we went there. My wife and I ate it. And they were like, if you think this is hot, wait until you feel the second fire.
That means on the way out.
Yep, it's the butt fire.
That's brutal.
Was it true?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yikes.
This thing was so hot, like you could not even taste. You couldn't even, like, you didn't
That was
even
the chicken
taste it.
sandwich that
it
I
was
had.
so unbearably horrible.
I didn't enjoy
And I did it
anything
twice.
about that meal at all. And I couldn't taste anything else. I couldn't taste anything after that. I couldn't taste anything during that meal.
A year later, Katie was like, I'll never do it, or she'll never do it again. And I was like, I will. And we went back and I did it again.
You did.
It was worse the second time. Because I knew, you're bracing for it. You know what you're in for.
I feel like I need to leverage this information against you in the future because I didn't realize that you would.
He didn't realize I had spice experience.
No, I don't trust that. I think I didn't realize that you'd be more open or more willing to like take it on. Although we did, what was that chip that we ate or that bag of chips that we ate?
Oh yeah, what are they
The
called?
Pocky chips,
Paqui?
Paqui.
Yeah, that's
I think.
right.
We
And
got
then they have the chip. It's a single chip
The one
in a
chip that ruled
casket.
them all.
Yeah.
Dude.
I didn't even like the regular Pocky chips, and we got them at Home Depot of all places. And
They're
then,
hot.
Yeah, they had it. They had it for some reason. They had it, and I had just seen a YouTube video or something of somebody eating. I was like, we should probably try it. We each had one, I think, and then what did you do when we got back to your house? Who did you give the rest to?
I gave it to the kids. I told them that they had to taste these great Doritos that I got.
Uh-huh.
And then they freaked out. And then were you there when Carmela tried to fight her grandmother? She put the chip in her grandmother's mouth, and the grandmother was like,
"Yep,
hell no," and like I think tackled her, if I remember
correctly.
correctly.
It got pretty out of control.
Yeah.
I think because she got it in
11,
her eyes.
I mean.
Carmela touched her eyes, which everybody knows is the cardinal rule of eating hot, spicy foods.
You don't touch your eyes.
Be careful around your eyes. Thank you, Sean
They
Evans.
say exactly, hot ones.
I know.
Yeah.
That's my Bible.
Great show.
Yeah, Sean Evans, man.
He's so
He knows
good.
everything. So that's
how did they prep him? How do they how does he take like a full master class on the person? How does he know everything?
He sits at his desk like this.
Yeah, I
think
think he's
he
just
does the research himself, or do you think he has a team? I mean, he has a team.
He has a team,
Yeah.
but I think he started like, okay, now we're gonna deep dive.
Yeah.
I think it started with like the tenacious of just being like Sean Evans.
He's so
Yeah.
good.
I think he's just a natural. I think when it comes to like knowing how to, well, maybe not so much. In the beginning, you can tell he was like kind of learning how to do it, but he still asks really good questions. I think they had this really good idea as far as a format for doing interviews with celebrities. And I think they recognize that because it's sort of unusual, they can't also ask, normal common questions like, so you were in Fantastic Four. Did you like it? Was it fun? And they can't ask those kind of questions because people are going to be like, yes.
What's it like being a star?
Yeah. What are you going to do when you walk the red carpet? Do you think the paparazzi are annoying? Like, yes. You're asking me yes or no questions. You should probably ask me something else. So I think they kind of got that early on. And they're also part of a, what's the magazine? I think it's a magazine. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I can picture it. They're part of a larger company that does publications and I think primarily focuses on interviews.
Spicy wings. Oh.
Compound, maybe? No, that's not.
That might be right.
Do you have more to say about this?
Yeah,
Go on.
what I will
Sorry.
say, what attracted me to this is that it is in my personal band of ABV, my personal favorite. I think we talked about this before. I like beers with a lot of alcohol, but when I'm drinking a beer, typically I want to drink, my target beers is like 2 or 3. I know a lot of people, like my wife says, like, I want to drink 1 and then I just want to like go to sleep. And it's like, if you want that, I think you should maybe just drink like vodka or something.
Yeah, just do a shot and then go to bed.
So this is 6.4 and it's in that band where I can have like 3 and feel it. And
okay, this is new
not
because
have a hangover.
I think you said that you liked something that had hop forward flavor to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So you like hop forward flavor and you want it to be, roughly mid-level ABV.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a session. It doesn't have to be like 4 or 5, but somewhere around here, somewhere around 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I live.
I don't actually know. Oh, this is 6.5. Yeah, so that probably sounds like my range too. I think anything like below 8 is probably fine for me.
Yeah, 8, like you're going to feel 8 pretty quick.
Unless it's a stout or something that's like, I don't know. Like it.
I like heavy beers too. I mean, I like both.
I think Source has made a couple. Oh, the milkshake IPAs. Source has made a couple 9 to 10 percenters.
Yeah, they're so
and
good.
I could crush those all day. Well, not all day. I could crush those like a couple of them and not recognize that I just drank a 10 percenter.
Source, to their credit, has a very good track record of making big versions of beers that are not normally big, which is great. Like, you're not going to find a Saison that's 8 or 9%.
Yeah.
Except there. It's like they're putting a lot of ingredients in their beer. It's not cheap to do that. I mean, they're paying a lot more probably to make their beers.
Yeah.
And they're getting these big beers out.
Well, they've also scaled up so much that I didn't know this until we sort of like spoke with them and learned from them, but they go from like, okay, you can deal with this, I don't even know what to call them, like a hop provider. And that's like, lower to mid-level. And then as you make more money, you can scale up to like the mid to high level. And then there's like this super high level of hop provider. And something about the quality of the hops, the amount that you can buy from them, all those numbers change as you produce more or you can afford to buy more.
It's like when you're a fancy restaurant and you want to get like fish, right? Like the fancy restaurants just have access to better fish.
Yeah.
Like they get first pick. There was this guy in San Francisco. You've been to Sushi Puzzle?
Mm-mm.
No? Oh, man.
That sounds like a pretty obscure reference. Where
But
is this?
it's in San Francisco. But
Okay.
it's like this like kind of hole in the wall garbage place. But the food is so good. And one of the guys
Sushi's Puzzle.
claimed it's very expensive. It's a hole in the wall. It's not very nice inside, but it's very, very expensive.
You keep saying expensive, but not good.
Oh no, it's very, very good.
Okay.
And one of the guys' claim to fame is that he's hooked up with like the fish market, so he goes in and gets first pick,
Mm-hmm.
and he like literally goes in and inspects the fish and picks the right ones.
Yeah.
You're always going to have better ingredients when you do that. So I think what hop farmers do is they basically, like eggs, create like grates or like plywood.
Oh.
If we want to talk about plywood, I could talk about plywood grates.
That's okay.
There's they grade the product and they sell it at different price points. And in the case of hops, what they're doing is they're not only making more expensive hops available to breweries that are willing to pay more, but they're also giving certain varieties of hops that other breweries cannot get to certain
Really?
breweries. So when you see a brewery using maybe like an experimental hop, sometimes those experimental hops are not plentiful. They're like
That's sort of like a signal of their success. It's like they've finally risen to that level of getting access to
they pick what they want.
hop XYZ,
Totally.
the A shape with an E built into it.
Yeah. It's great.
Which I don't know how you pronounce that letter.
Oh, Aish.
Encyclopedia is how you do it. 80.
A.
Oh.
Yeah.
A.
Like enema, AE would be.
A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, you had a.
We're talking about the AE symbol
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made it sound like it was a hard like A encyclopedia.
Yeah, encyclopedia.
You said H.
My theory is that it's pronounced by itself, much like B is pronounced when you put it in a word. It's pronounced B.
with a B with a U.
I think the letter by itself is pronounced Ish, and I believe
Oh.
that makes
Text.
Elon Musk's baby is roughly Ash. I think is the idea.
Ash Archangel.
You know, you heard it here first. We figured out how to pronounce it. Maybe.
I get it.
But okay, I think the easy way to figure that part out is to just ask him what his kid's name is.
No, he won't say it. He carries a whiteboard with him and he writes a little AE symbol. Just turns it around.
Sounds fun. Sounds
Yeah,
like a fun
no,
way
it's
to
fun.
do it.
Yeah, and he draws the whole diagram. Grimes, Elon, AE symbol.
That's terrible.
Yeah. He is the richest person in the world and is selling all of his possessions. And he's getting an Airstream. And he's going west. Oh, wait, no.
Is that why you're getting an
east,
Airstream?
Because the east of west is east. You get what I mean? The west of west is east. So he's going east. Yeah. For him to go west would be crazy. He'd drive right into the water. He's already in California.
I stopped listening at the beginning. I stopped listening when you mentioned an Airstream because I had a feeling you were taking it.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm buying an Airstream.
There we go.
Yeah.
You did it. You just jumped right
I'm
in.
buying an Airstream. I'm
just
going
jumped
on the
right into
road.
the topic.
I'm taking this whole thing on the road. You're coming. You're coming.
I'm coming.
Ming's coming. Everybody's coming.
We need somebody to run the show for us. You know. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go hit up every brewery. This is like
I'm buying a personal Airstream.
it sounds like a joke, but this is actually sort of
This
true.
is maybe true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm buying a personal Airstream. And part of the maybe goal is that we might go in this Airstream and go visit breweries and, talk to them about the site and try to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Get them on board. Get them to maybe give us beer. We'll
But
buy
we're gonna
the beer.
pay. We're gonna pay for the.
We're
beer.
gonna pay for the. I just
And
mean
we
like.
might go to the Great American Beer Festival in the Airstream.
Is that the one in Atlantic City
Nope.
in June?
Nope.
That's the one in Colorado
Uh-huh.
in September.
Yep, we're going.
In the Airstream?
Yes.
I think it's gonna break down on the way a lot. That's
I
a
had to
pretty long
fix it.
drive.
I'm gonna bring a wrench.
Okay, you heard it first. All you need is a
Airstream.
wrench to fix a Airstream.
They're expensive, but I'm getting them.
The wrench or the
I'm
Airstream?
getting a used one, but it's still very exciting.
I can't wait. I thought, you know what? I thought we were gonna get to drink beers in it on Saturday. I was very
The
excited.
way I got Colin excited about the Airstream is I told him that we could drink beers in it in the driveway.
Yeah, and I was down.
said,
I was
"I'll
ready
be
to
right
go.
over."
I was ready to go, and I showed up that night, and John was like,
I have bad news about
"Quick,
the Airstream.
quick note. I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you can't decide you want to buy one and also get it in the same day. It takes time. But, you live and you learn, and you're going to have it this weekend at least, at the latest, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
I'll be there. Whether you want me or not, I'll be there. I'm going to live in your Airstream in your driveway. That's what I'm trying to get to.
I've been thinking, for some reason, I don't know why I'm saying this.
Go ahead. We need a clip for Instagram, so this might be it.
There's someone in our office. This is going to tie back to the Airstream.
I'm waiting.
That has stopped closing the bathroom door when they use the bathroom.
Okay.
If you listen, sorry, you fucking know.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what you do.
Make some changes.
Yeah,
guy.
like I mean, you walk in and you think that no one's in there, and it's not even like it's not locked. It's literally not closed. It's fully open, and it's the bathroom, the light bathroom.
Oh, okay. I know exactly who this is then. I know who
What?
the person. Of course.
How?
Take a guess.
What?
Who would you guess?
Oh yeah, I mean I can guess.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Who would you guess? That's the answer.
But there's
it's easy.
more to this.
Go on.
There's more to this because, okay, one time in college.
Go ahead.
I walked into my own dorm room. So it was my dorm room with, but it was a single. Well, it wasn't a single. It was a handicap suite that they had put two people into.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a a bunk bed in it. Top bunk, of course, top bunk. But when you walked in, because it was a handicap suite, there was like a big bathroom. So the bathroom was straight ahead, and then the room was to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And I opened the door to it's my own room. I should tell a little bit more of this story in a second, but because I want to tell you how I got that room. Anyway.
I just want to know. Yeah, okay, go on. I want to know what
open it.
Go on.
And there's a guy standing in the bathroom door completely open, and he's peeing, which okay, fine. You didn't think anyone was going to... It's not my roommate. You didn't think anyone was... He was a guest of my roommate. You didn't think anyone was in the room. Okay. But his pants are at the floor.
Ankles, yep.
Yeah.
It's a bad sign.
And it bothered me for a very long time because I was like, what is this? Why is this person doing this?
This is like a grown adult that you're talking about, or
yeah, I mean it's a college adult,
young adult.
Yeah. And it took until age 30 to realize that maybe this guy was doing it right. Kids do it, babies do it. That's how they go to the bathroom.
And that's how you pee.
Who are we to judge?
That's how you pee into your pants.
Yeah, I guess.
I
don't know.
Have you been doing this?
No, I don't go all the way.
Because you said it took you till 30, and you're not 30
First,
anymore.
I closed the door.
It's been 4 years since you were 30.
I closed the door, and then sometimes instead of
you see how far back you can go before you can't reach anymore.
That is another story.
Everyone's done that.
In college, there was a guy. We were talking to this guy one day, and he's like, "Oh, my brother, he can pee over a swimming pool." And we were like, "Absolutely not. It's not possible." So that summer, we went to his house, and we saw him do it, straight over the pool.
And he was happy to demonstrate.
Absolutely.
So he's practiced and he's proud.
Who would not be?
I don't know. I feel like that's a short list of people who'd be like, "You've got to see this. I've got something
straight over.
I've got something you need to see."
In my recollection of it, which
awesome.
is in my recollection, it was epic. There was no startup and no wind down. It was full straight across, and then nothing. Is that possible? I guess it is. Yeah.
That sounds like it would be a little bit painful because you kind of have to
cut it off at the end.
The other tricky part was that his pool?
His parents' pool.
Okay, so it wasn't like a stranger's pool that he was potentially about to pee into. He had some relationship to the people.
Do you know when people used to put the purple pee-pee stuff in the pool?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a real thing, or was my dad just trying to stop me from peeing in the pool?
No, it wasn't a real thing?
I don't think so. I mean,
I've only seen it...
I'm younger than you guys. I'm 25.
Do you know what we're talking about?
I know exactly what you're
I've only
talking
seen
about.
it in movies.
I always heard people tell me that it was in there, and I was just like...
Yeah.
I've
I've
only
only
just
seen
a
it...
pee-peeer, and they're trying to stop me?
It didn't never stop me.
I always did. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel
He
like
didn't actually have it.
I feel like we're getting away from the topic a little bit of.
Oh, there's no chemical.
Thank God.
Dad. So rude.
We're all liars.
It's like when you find out the Easter Bunny's not real.
Oh my God.
There's no chemical.
This is on the-
When you find out.
Oh no, we just ruined it. All the kids that are listening, first of all, we filtered this on YouTube so that you can't watch this.
No, when you find out the Easter Bunny's not real, and then when you find out he is real later.
Yeah, and then
It's that.
and then you find out there's a sequence to this. So you find out the Easter Bunny's not real. You find out that he is real, and then you find out that there is no chemical that turns the water blue when you pee in it.
Was it blue for you?
My closest reference, and this happened when I was an adult, is the movie Grown Ups, and I think it's blue. I think it's blue or purple. Which that's the
It
only.
never made sense to me because I was like, why isn't the filtering the purple chemical
But
out?
they'd also be cleaning a pool every hour of the day because everybody's peeing in a pool. I mean, that's the truth. Like
Yeah.
if you go to
Maybe
like
you
a
shouldn't
club,
come in my hot tub when I finish it. Maybe just. Would you pee in a hot tub? I have, but would you pee in my hot tub?
well, it sounds like the concern is whether
It's
or
going
not
to be
you're
real
going to pee in
tall.
your
It's
hot
going to be
tub.
hard to get out of it.
I'm pretty sure you're going to pee
Oh,
in
I'm
it.
allowed to pee in my hot tub.
Is there a filter in this thing?
Yes.
We have a question.
You're coming. Don't worry.
Can we boil out the pee?
Oh, maybe that's why
the
it's.
people.
You know what? It's probably the right place to do it. If you are going to pee
Mm-hmm.
in some type of tub of water, it's going to be a hot tub.
Some stew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you're gonna, you know,
People, there's a lot of filters you can get. You do chemicals. You get an ozonator, ionator.
probably an ionator.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, it's a lot of wrong words I think coming out of your mouth right now. Hey, we keep getting away
No,
from the
ozonator.
fact. You keep doing this.
Okay.
We're getting away from the fact that you might pee with your pants down at your ankles.
Not at my ankles. Just like thighs. Sometimes. Not always. Sometimes.
Like and subscribe if you're doing what John's doing.
This is not how I imagined this episode going.
I said we didn't have any topics, so this is where we're at.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back on our topic from last week. So what we're talking about is homebrewers.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be very. We're not going to go very deep on this, but I think it's one of those things.
There are people that make. Sorry.
Go on.
There are people that make beer at home,
Yeah.
right? And then there are professional brewers. And I think part of the question we're trying to answer here is what happens in between those two things. It's like if you're a software developer for hobby, and then you're an intern, and then maybe you take on some contract work, and then you get a job.
Yep.
Right? Like, what is that arc for brewers? Maybe you work at a brewery, but if you're actually trying to start a business, there must be some interim stage, the contracting,
Right.
as we say, of brewing,
Or the apprenticeship.
the apprenticeship.
There's
Sure,
that. There's
yeah.
that step in between.
where you're not just cleaning kegs,
Right.
but you're making.
You're
beer.
actually making the
Yeah.
beer. And I think the problem is that there's so many people that are home brewing that have gotten so good that it would be insulting for them to not step into an apprenticeship that immediately puts them in place of actually making beer. And so,
People get super into this stuff.
oh yeah,
There's like a friend of mine up in Boston that's like he has he's a software developer, so he's like got monitors on like everything about the beer while it's in there.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
But that's the, like you're saying, that's the level that some people get to. And I mean, for how many breweries there are in the United States, there's probably 2 or 3 times, if not more, home brewers that are doing it to some level. And so recently we started reaching out to some of the local home brewers that we know of through different competitions that have happened or different just connections that we've established with other breweries. And we're starting to learn that there's really not there's this community. The community exists, but it's not a community that exists in one place. So for like software developers, like maybe GitHub is an example.
Pretty good.
There's different forums. There's Stack Overflow. I mean, there's different places that people can go, and there's a really, really strong community of people who are willing to share and help them grow and learn. And I'm not gonna look at it yet. And so there's just this community that's around it that people can kind of go to, learn from, and level up, and then eventually go pro, I guess, essentially.
Right.
With home brewers, there's this huge
and
gap.
it's not even just about the talking. I mean, so part of it is the talking, but then part of it is like you can't go from like practicing writing software to writing it in production for a big company and not have a part where like it's okay to mess up. So you need to have a part where people are trying your beer, experimenting with it, and giving you feedback.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to grow as a brewer.
Right.
So,
And so that's exactly right. Like that's one of the things that we're finding is that first of all, it's illegal for home brewers to sell what they're making because they don't have licenses. There are levels of licenses they can get, but I don't think that opens as many doors as they need to open. So they still can't sell, I think, with a license.
and as a result, they're interested in kind of stopping each other from selling because they know that if like one
Yes.
breaks it, it's like a magician giving away the secrets.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually a really good example. So there's this community that does exist. There's these spoken, unspoken agreements or understandings that basically don't screw it up for the rest of us. Follow the rules. Don't try and find loopholes or whatever. And so what you see is a lot of times home brewers will they'll get a certain following because they've shared with their friends, they've shared with their friends' friends, their family. They've expanded their circle, and people recognize that they're good at what they do. They enter competitions and they win, and they get a little bit of attention for that. But that's kind of where it ends. There's no real opportunity for them to build much of a following outside of like an Instagram, which is great. That's a good place to start. But within the context of what we're building with Beer Broadcast, there is maybe an opportunity to create a community for these home brewers.
And possibly a sales channel for $0 sales.
Yes.
I mean, where you could imagine like we have the ability to create private release groups. We have the ability to release a beer, notify people about it, and then have people claim the beer and have them pick it up.
Yep.
None of that needs someone to pay for the beer.
Right.
So if you just remove that component for home brewers, it's kind of a perfect solution.
Yeah. And there might be, and this is sort of what we're working on right now, but there might be an opportunity for them to not get paid for their beer, but get support from their fans in other ways, and we might be able to facilitate that support through this platform. I think at the least we can offer something where they can connect with professional brewers, they can connect with brewery owners, they can get insight into this industry that they care so much about that they're devoting their free time to learn how to do better. And in many cases, they're doing it with the end goal of becoming a pro brewer or opening their own brewery. But there's just not a lot of resources.
They need to be able to get money and support and feedback without breaking the law. It is blank for blank.
What does that mean?
It's blank for blank.
Oh, you're saying like...
It's Patreon for beer.
Oh, okay.
Is it or no?
Yeah, in a way.
I don't know.
It's Patreon for home brewers. Yeah.
It's a support community plus the ability to release your beers for free, plus maybe the ability to get supported for those beers separate of the purchase of the beer.
Here's an example. A home brewer could, however we end up doing this, if we build this out on Beer Broadcast, they could create a page and they could say, if you donate $20 to me, I will give you a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. With that t-shirt, I'll also give you for free a bottle of my beer.
Yes.
So now they're not charging you for that beer, they're charging you for the t-shirt.
Yes.
But that t-shirt doesn't cost them $20, right? So they might make a little bit of money, and that person who's buying is supporting somebody local who's making beer, who's trying to grow and become a brewer.
Yep.
They're getting a cool t-shirt hopefully out of it, and they're getting to try this person's beer, ultimately becoming a fan. And as that fandom grows, by the time this person's ready to go pro or they're ready to open their own brewery, they bring that fandom with them. And immediately, if they join a brewery as a pro brewer, they could bring thousands of followers. They could bring thousands of people to be fans with that brewery. Or if they open their own brewery, even better. Now they've got thousands of followers who are ready to buy beer from them. And we could facilitate that entire process taking them from a home brewer, a hobbyist, to pro, all within the same.
Yeah, I love it. I love it especially because I've seen what it can do for things like software. I mean, obviously, the company that we work at is very good they place a lot of stock in finding people earlier in their career and then hoping on the fact that those people will find such value in the platform that we've built that later they want to
Stick with it.
stick with it and convince their employer to use that thing over alternatives.
Right.
And that's where we're headed, is like whether or not a home brewer, we give them a good experience, and we give the community, and we give them a foundation. They can start a brewery and they can use us, or they can go to a brewery and convince that brewery to use us. So like it's a win-win for us. Obviously, we want to make the community better, and at the same time, there's a little bit of a self-serving aspect. If you're out there and you are a brewer or know a brewer that's interested in something like this, just email us, either John or Colin at beerbroadcast.com.
Yeah.
And if you are Justin Timberlake and you did not, you got my message from last week, but you didn't know how to contact us,
Now we
John
know.
at beerbroadcast.com.
Oh, we're not giving out both of our emails for Justin.
Just John.
JT just gets John's email.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Okay.
Or email justinfan55 at gmail.com. That'll also work. Okay, so I got you this beer.
By the way, the term that I'm using, and internet, feel free to coin this because it's probably going to be popular after we're done with it. But I'm calling it stacking the pipeline.
I love it.
So I don't know if that's a term that people are using as far as like they might have a better word for it. But what I see with what we can do with home brewers is bring them all in, give them a place to share their craft and share what they're doing with their community, build a following. Hopefully get advice from breweries and pro brewers through our platform. And yeah, stacking that pipeline full of people who can use us to grow and then have them as they sort of funnel through, continue to use our platform and find value in it. And yeah, so.
I think about a lot this idea of, have you ever heard value is moving up the stack? Do you know about that?
No.
So, okay, let me just like a little bit of an analogy to frame the idea. The analogy is, okay, when watches first existed, right? There are multiple people that are making watches, right? And the main way that they differentiate themselves from all the other watchmakers is they make the watch super, super accurate, right? But
Okay.
then like the industrial age comes and all of a sudden all the watches are super accurate. So now, like, what differentiates the expensive watches from the cheap watches? It's
Okay.
like value has to move up the stack. So now,
Oh, I see.
now all of a sudden, it's about which watch looks the nicest.
Who's using the better metal?
And then they all look nice because they steal each other's designs. Then it's about who uses the nice metal,
Right.
or who uses a diamond at the middle that like is just there for you to like look at, but is
Yeah.
so tiny. Yeah. So value moves up the stack, and I think that when I think about our thing, I think about that. I mean, we have competitors now a year in that are doing the same thing as us. And obviously any feature we make, we're going to put on our features page and they're just going to copy that feature. So value has to move up the stack. We have to start going in directions that are unique, interesting to the business, and aren't something that people would even see as something that they would have to duplicate in order to compete.
Sure.
Our value is moving to creating a community of beer lovers around breweries.
Yep.
And I would bet that our competitors will not see kind of which pieces of the puzzle are providing value. Does that make sense?
Definitely. And I think that's why we're thinking about this right now, or that's at least why I'm excited about it, because I think
Although now that I said this, they're going to be like, oh,
yeah,
that part.
taking notes. That's why I'm excited about those, because I don't think anyone recognizes the potential value in caring about or investing in the people that come before the brewery that sort of paved the way, or I guess the brewery's paving the way, but they are the ones who are sort of like in the trenches. They're creating interesting new things. There's a reason they win competitions. It's not because they created the next best IPA. They created something interesting that stood out. These are the creative people that
Tastemakers.
they can take risks. They can try things new that other people aren't trying, and they can ultimately bring that up with them and hopefully change the game a little bit. So before we talk about these beers, do you think
I have
that...
one more thing on that.
Go on.
Is yours
It was related to the... What'd you call it? Something about the stack?
moving up the stack? Values
So
moving up the stack.
that sounds... just a what's it called? A callback or something in movies or something?
Flashback?
What's the thing called where like you told a story at the beginning?
That's
and
a callback,
It's a
baby.
callback, right?
It's a
Thank you.
callback, yeah.
Thank you. So it's a callback. Talking about how breweries, as they get better, they also get better quality ingredients. And so they're moving up the stack.
That's exactly right.
They're differentiating themselves now because they can't do it with
Based
a
on
style
style.
of beer because everybody's doing it. So they can do it with the quality of the hops,
Yep.
the
Or
experimental
when like
hops.
recipes become more shared on the internet, maybe they can't do it with recipes anymore. Now they
Right.
have to do it with quality of ingredients,
Right.
or they have to filter their water differently, or they have to perfect the way that they're making the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it comes down to like the story that they can tell
Mm-hmm.
about how their brewery was founded or the people that created the beer. Like it's not about just the beer and how it tastes anymore. There has to be something associated with it, or else they don't survive.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate, but that's what happens in the saturated market, and that's kind of where things are getting. Which, as a consumer, I love it, but I know it's a hard thing for breweries or brewery owners and beer makers to deal with. So you
And
had
we're
something
gonna get
you
some
were
home
saying.
brewers on the show too, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We're gonna bring home brewers on the show, talk to them, learn more about what they're doing because I know you've done some home brewing before.
I have, yeah.
I bought a kit. It sat in my garage for 3 years, and then I think I sold it or gave it away, which I regret. But I never actually made the beer. I just aspired.
I'll just move all of my stuff to your house, and then
You've got a good setup. I
have
saw
a
it
lot
the
of
other day,
stuff,
and it's you've got a lot of stuff. But I don't want to distract you. You had something you wanted to talk about too.
I don't remember.
Oh, great.
Let's get on to the beers.
So you go first, or you go because I did mine first last time.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so you've brought me Red Tank Broad Street Stout. Broad Street, I want to just call out Kenny if you're watching. This
Shout
one's
out
for
Kenny.
you, baby. This is a 4.8% stout made in Red Bank, New Jersey, just a little bit up the road here. Of course, it's named after the famous Broad Street, which is awesome. Good place. And yeah, I mean, I've had some of their beers. I've never had this one, so
Okay.
I'm not typically, stouts are not normally my style, you know? And it's funny because I gave you my style.
Yeah.
So
Which-
here we go. I love stouts, but
Let's see it.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
I love stouts.
You know, I think part of the reason that stouts were not typically my style goes back to home brewing because they are much harder to make at home
okay.
with home equipment than an ale is.
So did you try making some and you just weren't happy with the result, and so you then became not a stout fan, or was it because you got frustrated with the process of making one?
I think it's that, like, going into it, you kind of pick recipes that are approachable, or you pick processes that are approachable. So I would make beers that I thought were approachable.
Okay.
Like I would make like a heady topper clone, which like sounds like it'd be really hard, but actually it's just a lot of ingredients. Like it's actually
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Meanwhile, like lagers are typically very difficult because they need to be cold. They need to be like in a large refrigerator, which most people don't have access to.
Right.
Yeah.
If this says anything, which it probably does, this probably says a lot about my taste in beer before I really kind of discovered or started enjoying craft beer, was when I got that homebrew kit. The first recipe I got was a Bud Light clone. No regrets, you know. It probably would have been the easiest thing to make.
Was that a Mr. Beer?
No. I don't remember where I bought it. I bought it online. Or no, I didn't buy it. I got it it was like a birthday gift, and it was bought online. I think it was like homebrewEquipment.com or something, like one of the obvious places. Actually, interesting story. Well, maybe not interesting story to anybody else but me. When I lived up north in Boonton, you know Boonton, I think.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you lived up north too for a little while. I lived in this town called Boonton, and Boonton had one of the. You know it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
place.
funny because I never knew
Love
about
that
it
town.
until I lived there, and I was like, nobody's ever heard of this town. And whenever I say it, somebody in the room's always like, yeah, I know it.
I played shows there.
Okay, yeah, great music scene there.
On the podcast, on the first episode, I was like, that homebrew shop's there. You were like,
Yes. Yeah. No, I know about that. That's what I was about to say, is that there was this awesome homebrew shop. And the reason I didn't find it because I was looking for it, we learned that in this town on, I think, it was either the first or the third Thursday of every month, they did like a wine and cheese thing. at all of the art galleries.
Art walk, yeah.
So how do you know all this?
Yeah.
You didn't live there, right?
No.
But you know,
I went to the art walk, though.
it was great
Yeah.
because it's a small town. It actually, to me, it feels like a ski town. Like there's
It
like
does.
this
It
like
has
up
that
and
like
down.
the slope
Yes.
through the main.
Yes. And like
And then
everything's really tight.
all the parking lots are like behind the buildings.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's all
Super
like
cool.
tight together, and all the buildings are like next to each other. It's awesome. It's like if Red Bank was on a hill and was like more compact, I think. Maybe that's not a good comparison, but it felt like a ski town because of the hill. And they had a really, really, really good homebrew store, and we found it because we were doing the wine and cheese walk or whatever you call
Cask
it.
and Kettle.
Sure.
think
I
that's the name.
actually
Yeah.
don't even know the name. Because we found it because we stumbled into it. We were looking for this other place, and we opened a door thinking we were about to walk into this place, and it was just a stairwell down.
Yep.
And as we got down to the bottom, it opened up into this homebrew store, and there was just people. There were people everywhere. They were drinking and eating, and we were like, "What is this incredible place we just stumbled upon?" And I think they had like boxes of hops, just like open crates of just like hops that you could go like shovel into a bag or something. It was amazing, and I wish at that time in my life that I was more interested in homebrewing, because that would have been my place, and I could have walked there. And then only after we moved away did I learn that that was like one of the best shops in New Jersey to do home brewing at.
Really, the only one that competes with it was in Freehold and is now closed.
Really?
So Cask and Kettle, I mean, they're great. There's like a vacuum store there. There are a bunch of music places. What's that place with the G name?
I don't remember. I don't remember any of the names of the places there.
I'll figure
I'm
it
thinking
out.
of Boom Tunes, the record store. They used to have
Oh, yeah.
They do have a like platform where they have a projector now where you can play in front of stuff.
Oh, really?
It was sick.
I mean, there was a reggae night at this, I think it was like a lounge that was like a lounge/restaurant. And we went there. We only went there once. I wish we went more than once. It was so fun. And
Yeah.
it was because we just went, and it was just like live reggae music. And it wasn't like small town local reggae band and like they kind of suck. Like these guys were good. And the place was like not packed. It was awesome.
You can tell when you pull
kinda
into
miss
that
it.
town that there's like something special going on there.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah, I kind of miss it. I wish we took a little bit more advantage
Another one
of
is
like
Sparta
living there,
around there. When you pull into Sparta, you're just like,
you know,
oh,
something
like
great's
something's
going on.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I really miss it. I mean, I do and I don't miss it. I like living in this area, but there's like moments like that where I think back and I'm like, we kind of have that here, but we kind of don't have that here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the music scene needs to come back to Red Bank a little bit. Is that what I'm trying to say?
You know, COVID has made the music scene not great.
Can't
You
do
have
it.
Asbury Park. Good music scene. So what do you have here?
Yeah, that's
what,
true.
What have you got?
On that
What have you? What
high note.
What do you got?
So yeah, another Bradley
Did you
Brew
try it?
project. It did.
Okay.
What does it remind me of? Hold on.
Pineapple.
It reminds me of like a tropical drink.
Yeah, I think it's on there. Yeah, the pina colada.
Yeah, no, it's the
idea.
That's the point. It's coconut and pineapple. So it's here. Let me say it. So it's called "But I Forgot My Flip Flops." Great name, as always, by Bradley Brew Project. It is a New England style India Pale Ale brewed with coconut and pineapple. It's very good. I'm
still amazed we never met them in person.
I
You know,
know,
for
we
how
have to go
much we
back.
talk about the beers.
We really have to go back. We tried. We stopped by, and actually we got a tour.
Mike?
Was it Mike?
Is it Mike or Matt?
No, because Mike is one of the owners, I think.
Is Matt?
Mike and Chelsea, I think.
This was Matt.
Okay, so then it was Matt. Shout out Matt. Thank you for that tour. That was amazing.
It was really nice. Yeah.
And that's what I was saying before. Is like it is a small operation, but like seeing the releases they've had week after week and what they're coming out with, you'd never guess that they were, the size that they are, the quality, the
Good
different
location
styles.
too. I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's a cool space inside.
their labels are great. Like
The labels are fun.
they're
yeah.
not doing anything wrong, which is really cool. And
How do you create a tiled thing? Can you talk?
a tiled design?
I've always wondered this. I mean, like,
Well, in this case, it's not. This is probably just, if you peeled this off.
they just made enough of them on a thing, and And it's fine.
Oh yeah, so like the artboard that they'd have in whatever design program they're using to do this was probably the dimensions that this whole label is. So they're not repeating this unless. No, they're not repeat because look, like this design, like these all kind of spread out around the label.
Okay.
Like sun rays.
So they're not doing it.
No, but
If you do a very,
they don't have to.
yeah, they don't have to.
There's
'Cause
no
it's-
reason to.
It's not big enough.
No, but you would. What you do is you would. You could create like a grid.
But it's almost like in this case you don't want to do that
No, because
because you
they're
want the randomness.
right, and like they want it to sort of flow around these different sections that they've cut out here.
Yeah.
So it's randomness, but it's also like there is like a shape that's happening around the other
So what do you think of it?
of the beer.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I wasn't expecting to like it.
When I tasted it, I was like thinking of something to give you, and I had this, and I was like, I know this is not your kind of beer, but I remember how you reacted to the tropical milkshake and to the ambrosia.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
like this kind of is in that direction.
Definitely, this is like that's a really good example. This tastes a lot like a milkshake IPA if you didn't put the lactose in it, which is amazing because I didn't think I was gonna like it because of the coconut, but I think that's what sort of like smooths it out for me and gives it that sort of milkshake IPA-ish kind of taste. So I'm a big fan. I wasn't sure what I was gonna think because of that coconut, but yeah, I'm a fan.
Cool. Yeah, we got to get back there soon. I'm actually hoping that soon, like the world.
Just gets back to normal. Yeah, I'm ready to like not walk down the street and look at somebody like out of the corner of my eye.
People
And
are
be
being mean to
pissed.
each other on the street. We've been trying to hike recently, and like people, like you pass somebody and they give you a dirty look, like as if you just like
Right.
gave them COVID.
Yeah.
And they like, I mean, we both step off to the side, and then it's like a you go, but there's no like there used to be like a smile and a nod,
Yeah.
and now there's no smile and a nod. It's like, oh, we're just like a business transaction right now. We're moving past each other.
Yeah. Things have really like New Jersey's not one of those states where like New Jersey like you get some like kindness from strangers, but it's like it's borderline like New York where people just like are on their own track and they don't want to be bothered. But like more recently with COVID, other people don't exist. You know,
Yeah.
I'm amazed when I was driving home the other day, and I wasn't even in my own neighborhood. I was just driving like about to enter my own neighborhood in my car, and somebody waved at me while they were walking just because I like drove slowly past them, and I was like, huh. That's what the world used to be like. People used to be nice.
Used to wave.
Yeah, and it caught me so off guard that like I was like, what are you looking at? Like, why are you waving at me? What's the problem? And then I was like, oh, they're just being nice. I forgot that happens sometimes. And
It's been months now, but I had it. I had COVID. And the beauty of it is that I don't have to like, it's almost like once I had it, I'm not saying anyone should get it on purpose, but that like, I don't have to, I'm still careful. I'm still like wearing a mask everywhere. I'm not like, take off your masks, everybody. We're like, the world's over.
just
or
coughing
whatever.
on everybody.
But it is nice to kind of step back from it a little bit. And when someone like gets too close to me, I don't have to like freak out like I used to, and be like, why are you coming near me or whatever. Like, yeah. I can just like, it's fine.
Good for you. It's a little scary.
Yeah, no, it is. It is scary. And it's
I-
scary for your relatives. It's scary for everybody. I mean,
I also wonder, like, there have definitely been stretches of time where I'm like, is this it? Do I have it? Like, did I get it? And I'm just handling it okay. And like, I can't, like I don't know if it's because I've been like in my house for a year straight working from my basement, and going outside immediately triggers like some type of allergic reaction to like regular air. But there have definitely been days where I'm like, I've got like a sore throat, or I'm like, I've got a little bit of a cough, or I'm tired. Like, is this what happens when it becomes winter after a year of like hiding from a pandemic inside your house? And then it's that combination of like, what do they call that when it's like seasonal depression. So it's like seasonal depression mixed with like already having been hiding from this like scary virus.
When this all first started, Eileen, who, you know Eileen.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, Eileen, I don't think she's listening, but if you're listening, shout out Eileen.
What's up, Eileen?
This episode's sponsored by
Eileen. Yeah, great. Send her a
She said
bill.
she was at a grocery store and she had her cart full of stuff and she was in the produce aisle and she sneezed and ran out of the store embarrassed because she was just like, I can't handle like someone thinking that like
That's gonna
I'm
take
sick.
like
Yeah.
once this thing like is under control and hopefully goes away. That's gonna take years for people to be
yeah.
able to go out in
Yeah,
public and
totally.
feel normal again.
Yep.
Like coughing and like you're like I can't think of the picture, but it's like somebody holding their breath and they're turning red because they're trying to hold
Hmm.
a cough in.
And had the vein.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And then they do like that.
Oh yeah. Well,
You know,
there's
like-
people that used to do that before COVID happened, and now imagine
Yeah.
what they're feeling like. They're like,
Like when you're so embarrassed to let a sneeze out that like you make it worse
yeah,
because you're not going to hold the sneeze back.
it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open.
I've done it.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
Do it.
I had
Prove it.
We'll get some pepper right now.
those things put in my eyes.
Do we have pepper?
We don't have
Get the pepper. Yeah, I've done it.
I don't believe it. You're gonna have to prove it. You're gonna have to prove it. I don't know.
So have you been to Red Tank also?
I have.
In person? Yeah.
I've been to Red Tank a couple times. They are strategically located right next to another bar called Jamien's, which I'm a big fan of.
Great place.
Jamien's
Who
is a
also
great
has
place for
reggae
music.
bands.
Yes.
Jamien's is a great place for
Yeah.
music. I was just gonna say that. That's right.
Weird place because you don't know, like you're walking in some night, you don't know, like, is it going to be reggae or country
Or nothing.
or Grateful Dead? Those are the three choices.
But isn't that the exciting part too? Like you
There's
could
rap night.
you could show up and it could just be anything.
It could be anything.
Shout out to Random Test of Jamien's, the reggae band there. They used to come to the studio.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
They're good. They're really good.
They're reggae.
There's also Jukebox
I love the
Criminals,
reggae bands there.
which is comprised of some people I went to high school with, or it used to be. I don't know if they're still all in the band. They've evolved.
What
over
kind of
time.
band are they?
They are a cover band, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Like they kind of do a little bit of everything. They do like the classics. I think they probably do some reggae.
What do you play?
I play guitar
Nice.
in a band called
We're both
Serious
drummers.
What is it called?
Matters. Serious Matters.
Okay.
But also, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can't really
try.
form a band with each other because we both
Two
play the
drums and one guitar.
We're just
Here
gonna
we go.
we're just gonna do like a drum off and then we'll have you come in with some guitar riffs or something. But
when Colin and I think we told this on the first podcast, but when Colin and I first met, I was like looking for some kind of common ground. I was like, "Hey man, you play any instruments? We could jam."
yeah,
He's like, "Drums." I'm like, "Oh, damn it, it's not gonna work."
Okay, that's out.
So not gonna be a very good band.
Yeah.
There is that band. What band was it that had two drummers? Does anyone know this? Can we bring it up? Bring it up.
What do you?
I'm obsessed with bringing it up.
Band
That's what
with
you're
two
gonna learn.
drummers.
It's a band with two drummers, like two full drum sets on the stage.
I know Dan Deacon does his live kit like that.
30 bands.
Okay.
Double. Yeah, that seems good. 5. I mean, I can't read through 30 of them.
Yeah, that sounds like a
But
lot.
it was some like pretty big band.
At
Two
this point,
drummers.
you're just gonna point and be like, yeah, that was it.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Damn it.
Oh yeah, this is
I don't-
Melvin's.
I don't know any
There's-
of
No, it's
these.
the Cult of Luna.
I don't know any
No,
of
that's
these.
not right. It was Tortoise.
Anyway, we can do it. We can make it happen.
The Allman Brothers.
Really?
Oh, Slipknot. That's exactly the one I was thinking of. That
Really?
actually is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they have 9
Yeah.
drummers.
They got a lot of drummers.
Every single band member plays the drums.
I don't
Oh,
listen
you
to
know,
Slipknot.
you're
I don't listen
you're
to
thinking of the
Slipknot.
Blue Man Group. Stomp. You're thinking of the show Stomp.
No, that's my depression group. Blue Man Group.
Blue Man. What would the depression version of the Blue Man Group play? What instruments would they play?
Drums, just sad.
My Depression group is Depeche Mode.
Depression.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Depression groups.
Yeah. We already have one clip of us screwing up words from last week. We don't need another. Hey, do you have any more impressions this week? John did an impression.
kids!
No. We're not doing Mickey or Pee Wee Herman, whatever that was. John did an impression of
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. It was it was great. I didn't,
Don't say that about me.
This is just gonna become a regular segment of the show, I think.
You got one? You got a Walken impression?
I don't got to walk in
You don't
impression.
got it?
I don't either. I'm not even gonna try. Do you have
You
other
talking to
impressions?
me?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Are
See?
you?
Don't.
You talking to me?
You know what I've always
That's De
wanted to
Niro.
do is who does a really good one is who's the guy in the interview? Same but different, but same. Who's that guy? His younger brother
He does a good De Niro
does a
impression.
great De Niro impression.
Yeah.
Have you?
The
It's
Franco
so
brothers?
good.
Yeah,
James
The
Franco's
little
younger
one
brother.
does such a good De Niro.
Does a fire.
What's his
De Niro
name?
Look, the
impression.
face is so perfect.
Yeah, he does.
Because
do
you
really
know
well.
you don't do a De Niro impression without the face.
That's true.
You don't.
I just tried it in.
You were pretty good at it. No, that's pretty good. Can you do it toward the camera so they can see?
No.
Okay. Yeah, James
I did it.
Franco,
There
I
we
did.
go. I forgot the
I
last
got it.
name for a hot second.
but I don't remember.
But what's his
That's not
brother's
his brother's name.
James Franco and Dave Franco.
This is
There
what we
it
try
is.
to do on the podcast. Is everyone at home is just like, Dave Franco, you assholes. My mom actually messaged me after the last podcast, and she's like, everything you guys don't know, I know. Put me on the podcast.
Actually,
And I was like,
It's Dave.
I think you
Yeah.
should go on the podcast.
she might be a great first guest.
But she also said
Break
that
the ice a little bit.
she said that it needs to be before her bedtime, so we'll have to shift the time.
Well, this week was later than normal. Normally we get in at 8.
Yeah, she can't do this right now.
We
10 p.m.
I didn't book in time this week, so I missed it. Normally we have the 8 o'clock slot on Tuesday, and I waited until like yesterday to book it. So we're lucky to be in a studio that's so popular that they're booked as often as they are. We just have to be more proactive in getting the right
They're
space.
great. They're so good.
This is awesome. This is the best. I love. You know what I love every single.
You see something new every time.
Well, yes, but every time I'm like looking back at the video that we have, I'm watching how.
To see if any of these things move.
Well, I'm watching to see if anything moves, but I'm also. It's funny because when I try and like cut together certain stills of it, I can almost cut it together where the background lines up in both sort of like your picture and my picture when I'm trying to like get the cover photo right.
Oh, I've noticed that you try to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to do because the angles. It depends on the angles, but it's pretty cool, and it's such a good backdrop, right? Like there's.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It is perfect. So no impressions for you this week.
No, I don't think I have anything. Yeah.
I think I'd like for you to work on something for next week. Maybe it's going to be Robert.
That's Donald Duck.
Is it? But is it?
Yeah.
Is that a cat eating food too fast?
It sounded like a dog drowning. Okay.
Wait,
Well,
can the impression be of stuff like that? Like fish? That's not going to work on the podcast for the podcast people.
I don't think. Yeah. No.
I did a very convincing fish.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to really like put some time into it, invest in your fish impression. Sure.
No, I think my Mickey Mouse is pretty good.
Go ahead.
Hello, kids. Now, I know in your head you've built up that Mickey Mouse doesn't sound like that, but if you listen to him,
You're wrong.
anything you've ever heard about Mickey Mouse is wrong. That was actual.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I want to talk about?
Yeah, what do you got?
I feel like we joked about this last week, but I want to talk more seriously about this. I want to bring it down a little bit.
Wait, we're going to bring it down? Like
Yeah.
slow dance?
Bring it down. The lights, like lower the lights a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I don't think it's... Okay, go ahead. It's not a
Feels
dimmer.
darker.
It's not a dimmer. Like
It feels good, though.
in
okay.
in the software to cut this whole thing together,
I can do an impression of that, actually.
isn't that what I was just doing? Right? Okay. No, I want to get serious for a minute. I want
Yeah.
I want to ask some really serious, some hard hitting questions.
If this is not serious. Okay,
When
go ahead.
exactly did you fall in love with Justin Timberlake, and why do you think that he's going to watch our show? You don't have to answer both parts of the question. I just want to know when that. Does Kate know about this thing that you have with him?
Did I talk about the Beatles last week?
No, but that's. I feel like you're.
Okay,
you're
here's
sort
the
of.
thing.
You're deflecting a little bit.
When the Beatles were popular, okay?
You're deflecting.
This happens once in a long time. Once in a long time. That the Beatles were popular with all those. Remember the video with the girls, and they're like, "Ah, the Beatles are coming! The Beatles are coming!" Right? But guys also liked the Beatles, and the parents of the kids, they liked them too.
And why is it so wrong
And what I'm saying about Justin Timberlake and Bruno Mars and a few other artists that are here currently is that like they're universal. My mom likes Bruno Mars the same amount that I do.
I think that's
Like
great.
my grandmother is dead, but she probably would like him.
Okay. That's great. I think
That's
that's
it.
I think that's fantastic. And that doesn't answer the question of when
My kids like Bruno Mars.
when did your love affair with Justin start?
The first time he said, "Take off all your clothes" by the end of this song.
I
The
think
first
it was
time.
when I do know the answer to
That's
this.
when he knew he was in love. I'm talking
I
about
did like that.
I'm
I
talking
can
about
do a good impression of that song.
I'm talking about that like early. Keep going.
That's it.
You had it.
That man was done with singing. He just wanted to beatbox.
You just know that one part. There's so much more.
Yeah. I think it was when
only
when
our
he like
second
really
beer.
affirmed
Second
himself
beer.
as an independent artist is when he like did Mirrors and like that album with Jay-Z. I mean, like that's when it really just took off as like
What's
this guy
the-
can hold his own and he can write his own song and like well, he didn't write it, but it's like he can do his own thing and it's gonna be good.
Cry Me a River.
Not for me.
That's well, you're wrong.
Not for When did your Justin Timberlake obsession start?
Well, I don't have an answer. But the last week I spent like 30 minutes trying to remember the name of that song, "Cry Me a River," and for some reason the only song I could come up with was "Bridge Over Troubled Water." So I don't know why I want to share that, but I do. It's one of those things where like the name left my brain, and I'm so proud of myself for remembering it. But now that I remember it, that's a great song. I'm pretty. Isn't the beatbox thing you just did from that song?
No, that's not Cry Me a River. Oh my god.
That's yeah, rock me, just rock me. You know the one.
It's "Cry Me a River." I think everyone's gonna be pretty disappointed.
You know who else I think is good? I don't like her necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Kendrick is I think also.
Did you just recently watch the Trolls movie?
I
Rock
love
Your
the Trolls
Body.
movie. The Trolls movie, yeah,
That's
Rock
it.
Your Body.
There it is.
The Trolls movie is good.
That's a JT
And Anna
AK
Kendrick.
combo.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just watched it the other day, so that's
And she
why.
was also Pitch Perfect.
No, it's pretty fire. I watched it too.
It's a great movie.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good. Even the Trolls World Tour. Did you see that?
That's what I just watched. That one's for free on Hulu. So
Well,
the regular
that's part
one
of a new
is
series of
not.
movies. New movies when they come out now are $19.99 to rent when they first come out because
Yeah.
like they're trying to get the
Movie
box
theater.
office money, but
Yeah.
like it doesn't cost that much money to watch a movie in a theater. I guess because you have people in your house.
Right, you can rent it and have 10 people sitting with you. Which, you know what? In some cases, like, I was willing to... I regret it now, and I didn't watch it legally, but I was willing to pay to watch Tenet when it first came out, but they decided that it was going to come out in theaters first, which I wasn't willing to do. If they put it up on any of the streaming services for $20, I would have paid it. I would have gladly paid it if they just put it up, and then it still wasn't available. I watched it illegally, and then a week later it was up, and I could have paid for it.
I said for a long time that that if so movies when they first come out, then obviously they're available on torrents, and I was like, if theaters want to stop that, what they have to do is they just have to make it available. And I was like, if it's just available, then I'll buy it. But
Yeah.
then they make it available, and it's $20, and I'm like,
But if you think about it,
It's not that bad. It's
would you
not.
have paid $20 to watch it, to rent it, if it was really something you wanted to see?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in this case, you're paying to own it. I'm guessing.
no, it's not paying to own it. You pay
It's paying to rent
$20
it.
to rent it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm thinking when I do it is like, I'm still not going back and stealing it. I'm renting it or not seeing it,
Okay.
which is probably a better deal for the movie theater because
That's a
eventually I'm
more-
gonna.
That's a
watch
more
it.
honest way to do it.
Yeah.
For sure. I waited as long as I could for Tenet, and I really, really, really did wait for it to come out to stream.
I don't know the movie.
Tenet? It's another Christopher Nolan.
Never heard of it.
It's like the next big one after Inception.
Is it Batman?
Just came out like I guess a month ago.
Is Batman one?
It came out very recently. It's in the style of Christopher Nolan.
It's Batman.
Well, so Batman follows Batman in Christopher Nolan's style. Tenet is more like a thriller, sort of
Never
like
saw Inception.
mind bender. What?
I never saw it.
Can we kick?
I know that we are in a
I paid for the
dream
session,
in a
so we can
dream.
get him out
Is
of
that
here.
right? I can make references to it, but I never saw it.
We're switching you out.
Chris is in.
I'll drink some beer.
Yeah, hell yeah. I got more in here. I'm not sharing with this jerk. You haven't watched Inception?
No,
Okay. At the time, so I'm
I
gonna.
watched it when I was asleep, but then I came out.
No. That doesn't.
Is that not,
I know what you're trying to do, but you're wrong. Okay, so
that's not how it works?
Eileen Page, now Elliot Page, was in Inception.
Ellen. Page.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ellen Page. Not Eileen. I'm thinking.
Come
of
on, I know
Eileen.
more about Inception than
No,
you.
thank you. You're right. I was sleeping. It was a dream. Ellen Page was in it at the time, and now Elliot Page. But the I don't even know how to tell you about this without being frustrated that you haven't seen it.
I got you. Okay, so think about it this way. You're on a spy mission, and you have to get an idea to someone else. But the only way to get someone to think of an idea is to put that idea in their brain. And the only way to
Plant
do
it.
that is through their subconscious. Best way to get to that, their dreams.
So you go into their dream
Yeah,
and you tell
plant
them,
it.
and then they wake up and they don't realize that you did it. They think they
You
thought
gotta
of it.
keep going.
They think they thought of it
eventually-
themselves.
Here's the problem.
Or
Why do you have to go a dream in a dream?
Here's the problem.
Why you got to go two dreams?
Because one of the guys is an asshole and can't keep his ex out of his dreams, and so she comes and causes a whole bunch of problems, in a lot of cases messing with the dream they're trying to be within. So because it's his dream, she can enter his dream and she can cause a whole bunch of chaos.
His subconscious trauma is what causes the.
It's not actually her. It's like his memories of
Yes.
her.
Yes, the subconscious. It's all.
And
about
she's
the
so bad to him and so like tragic to him
Yes.
that she's a chaos thing even in his dreams.
So you didn't watch it? Sounds
I was
like-
going to
I'm
say,
just like-
either you did a really good job explaining to
No, I've never seen that.
his brain, because like software engineer brain, like you digest things differently.
No,
You just explained
this
it
is
in a
all
way that makes sense
recursion.
to
It's
him.
recursion all the way
It's
down.
recursion, yeah.
It's a
Exactly.
function calling a function. I got it. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. You just described to a software engineer's brain a movie to the point where it sounds like he wrote it himself. This is great.
How do they go deep enough that she's not there?
You don't.
Or
No, they don't. That's right.
they never do?
Well, that's for you to find
That's my worry about watching the movie, is that it might be one of those movies that you come out of it and you're like,
You might be a little
I don't
upset.
get what happened.
Well, that's the trick with his movies
Do you
too, is that you
ever
have
get
to
it?
watch them, I think, a few times.
But if you watch it a few times, do you get it after that?
Yes, absolutely. I've watched Inception probably 4 times all the way through, and
They're stuck in the dream forever.
No.
No.
Do you want us to tell you these things?
They get out and she's the bad guy.
No.
Hmm.
She's
Christopher Nolan, man.
yeah. We'll never know. Actually, we won't ever know because of the way it ends, which we won't tell you. But
A rat walks on a windowsill, like in Departed, and you're just like, what does that mean? I don't know.
DiCaprio actually makes coitus with a bear. Weird.
yeah, it takes
And then
it takes
it's
a
over.
dark turn. Yeah. And it turns out the whole thing took place in outer space, which nobody expected.
Ugh.
Oscars. Totally. Just Oscars abound in that
Yeah.
movie.
But Tenet it follows a similar sort of confusing plot line. You have to watch the whole thing.
Tenant?
Tenet. Tenet.
It's not a word.
It is. And it is also a palindrome.
Oh, shit, it is.
And there's a reason for that.
All right, bring it up. I can't.
So
I
the
can't do it in my
word
head.
the word actually means something relevant to the movie, but the fact that it's a palindrome is also relevant to the movie because you can read it forwards or backwards.
No, not. It's T-E-N-N-E-T.
T-E-N-E-T.
Oh, it's just a palindrome.
T-E-N-E-T.
When you said palindrome, for some reason I was like, spell it out so I can read it backwards. And then I read it backwards. I was like, I'm in a dream in a dream.
There you
It's
go.
the same word.
Yep. So I don't know what the definition of tenet is, but
You don't have to know. Nobody knows except Christopher Nolan.
well, the interesting part about the choice of the name, I don't want to spoil it. You haven't seen it, John, right? Have you seen it?
I'm
No.
not going to see it.
I'm not going to see it.
It's like that one where Ashton Kutcher
It'll be 20
hits
years. I'll be
the
40.
mailbox with the
Okay.
baseball bat or whatever.
Butterfly Effect?
Never saw it.
Maybe you have.
Give it 10 more years.
I know is
That's
that
a
what
good-
is that what happens in the movie? And then, it's like a bomb. I think I did see it. It's a bomb,
No.
and then it explodes, and then he's like, the thing happens, and he has to like relive that moment over and over again, like Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
It's like that's like a traumatic memory in his past. The what happens? Okay, so what happens is
And then there's that one where the guy. Tell me
We're
what
moving
movie
too
this
fast.
is. This is another step forward. It's the guy that works for a company and invents something bad, but then at the end they have to erase his mind. Is that Christopher Nolan too?
That was Jim Carrey.
Be more
No,
specific.
he works for a company.
Truman Show.
And then every time that he invents something, he works for a company, he invents something, and the deal is that at the end of the invention of the thing, they get to erase his mind. And then it was Ben Affleck, and then he goes back and he invents another thing, and then eventually they have him invent some like final thing, and they're like, "Listen, this is the big payoff. You're gonna make this thing, and then we're gonna erase your mind," and then shit goes bad.
Are you sure it was Ben Affleck? Mm-hmm. Was it Matt Damon? Was it the Adjustment Bureau?
No, come on. It's Ben Affleck. Just type inventor.
Inventor.
A memory erase movie. Yeah.
Paycheck?
What?
Yep. Paycheck. Also, shout out to that movie where there's two magicians, or is there one
The
magician?
Prestige.
Great movie.
That is a
Right?
great movie.
And that's
That
another
is
movie where I'm
a-
like, what happened? And then at the end, you're like, I think I know. But then you say it to someone else, and they're like, that's not what happened.
We talked about this in another episode. That is what happens when two scripts end up in Hollywood at the same, or I'm sorry, the same script ends up in two
Because it
different
was
producers.
Prestige and it was
The Illusionist.
The Illusionist.
So one of them-
Although Prestige has, I think Prestige was the copy, but it is the more interesting
Yeah.
plot.
Which one has Hugh Jackman and he?
The Prestige has Hugh Jackman, I think.
The only thing I don't like
One
about
thing
that
yep.
is that it's a movie about magicians, but they're
No, it's
they're
a movie about scientists.
not right away. It's a movie about magicians and how they are revealing their secrets and how they're trying to compete each other and push things against the other one. And then at the end, you find out that like, oh no, there's actually like sort of pseudo magic.
It's not. It is real magic.
He's actually cloning himself for real.
And killing himself.
And then killing himself.
And he puts the other guy in jail. Okay,
Yeah.
But
But it's
I-
the wrong Christian Bale.
the wrong guy, and he smiles at him, or something.
It's the twin.
Oh wait, he doesn't smile at him
Did
because
we just
he's in
spoil
jail.
that for you?
Great
Sorry.
movie. Great movie.
I'll check that out.
What I will shout out is Chris Ramsey. He's a magician.
Okay.
I don't think he's a very good magician, but companies keep sending him these things. They're puzzle boxes,
Yeah.
and they're like super well made, large objects that themselves are a puzzle,
Okay.
and they're amazingly intricate. They're really really fun to watch.
Okay. So maybe this isn't the same, but I've
We
heard
have
of.
gone.
We're way off track.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's not really there is no track. There's something called a Chinese puzzle box, I think. Maybe this is the same
Yep,
thing
same
where
idea.
it's like
Yeah.
you have to learn like if you turn this thing at
He's
this
got it.
time. Is that what is that? What do you have over there?
Right now, this is the Nicassie Brewing Company Vanilla Otis Oatmeal Stout at 7.0 alcohol.
He should be on the
You
podcast.
should be on the. You are on the podcast.
He's roughly on the podcast.
You are on the podcast.
You're
Yeah.
on the podcast.
That sounds delicious. Good choice.
I hope it is too.
What's that?
I hope it's a good choice.
Yeah, right. You've poured
It's a
a
stout.
Christian, who normally sits where you are, he likes beer but
light
doesn't
beer.
drink craft beer. So it's interesting.
Oh, this is delightful.
You like
You
it?
said- yeah, this is real good. This is vanilla stout.
I like vanilla stouts. Vanilla's great.
Is this something that's a personal selection of yours? Is this something that was in the
No,
fridge?
This just happened to be in the fridge. This
Nice.
Is totally,
Good grab.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great grab.
Stouts are at the top of my list right now, especially winter beer. Stouts are my winter beer for sure.
Now,
Go on. You know, actually, yeah. You know
it's
what? Let's
not a
talk
stout.
about. Okay, I won't even ruin it.
Yeah. We were at. This might turn out to be a topic that lasts multiple episodes, but we were at a liquor store, and we're like, oh, we're, looking at the beers, and then Colin asked for Fat Baby Jesus, otherwise known as Sweet Baby Jesus.
Favorite all time.
And they explained to him like that they can't get it right now. And then we were saying like we're going on this podcast. Do you have anything interesting? And they were like, like you have a podcast because I got some shit to say. And he like started like
he signed himself up right away.
And he's like, I'll be on the podcast.
It's like, how soon can I be on? We're like, it might be a while.
He might be on the podcast.
You know what?
But he recommended this beer. I've never had it before. It is from Rogue. It is an ale, but it is a hazelnut brown nectar ale, which is normally a description that you would find on a stout or a porter. But this is not one.
He did say that he expected this to pour like a dark brown, I think, right?
But it pours light.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, can we grab one of these glasses, Colin?
Yeah.
We'll do our own little experiment. Is it okay if we use a glass?
Absolutely. That's what they're there for.
One of these?
Yeah.
Or do you want this?
I mean, we want to see the stuff.
Cheat on Ross Brewing.
That one's dirty.
Oh, yeah, true.
Sorry.
He's trying to give me a dirty one.
This looks all right. Yeah, that looks good. It just says Buffalo on it. So
Yeah.
no
I already had COVID. I'm just kidding.
What did you have?
COVID.
Can you clarify that, please?
I had COVID. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So, I mean, okay. Not a good pour because I'm trying to do it in a
it's very
rush
dark
fashion
brown.
because we're, it's dark, but it's not black. It's not.
It's not like a Guinness.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not like a stout would be. It's not thick like that. You can see through it.
So, good head on that, but is that from the beer or is that from the pourer?
That's from the pourer.
Okay.
That was me. Yeah.
Great.
I was just trying to do it quickly.
Sure.
So I'm going to start with this. I thought this might happen. When he described it as light, but it says hazelnut on it, I was thinking about it like a creamsicle type flavor, and that's what I've got going on here.
Okay.
But it's like a creamsicle where instead of creamsicle, like
Hazelnut.
it's hazelnut. Yeah.
Okay.
Hazelnut, by the way, is the flavor inside of Ferrero Rocher, right? Which is great. They're really good. And I think maybe are also the biggest business in Italy. We could fact check that. But I think the most wealthy person in Italy owns Ferrero Rocher.
How do I spell that? Roche. R-O-C-H-E. Like Roche? Or is there an R?
There's an R at the end, yeah.
I was hired to engineer, not to spell.
So what do you got? See the
I'm a little jealous. I'm gonna have to steal one of those from you later. I know you got a 6-pack.
Well, I have it. Actually, you can have this because I haven't touched that.
Can I just taste? I don't want to. Well,
No, that's yours. And then you're going to give me one of yours.
Giovanni Ferrero.
Richest man in Italy, right?
All
Did I
right,
get
I'll
it
try.
right? The
Secret
owner
Nutella billionaire.
of Nutella, who's the same person as Ferrero Rocher, which makes sense because they're both hazelnut.
Tic Tac, Butterfingers, and his namesake chocolate. He does a lot. He's a candy multi-billionaire, man.
He's a candy mogul.
that guy looks too young to have done Tic Tacs.
No, I think it was his mother.
Yeah, that Tic Tacs are older than he is.
No, he just drinks the blood of children in Italy. That's
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
What was that called? The Blood Boy in San Francisco, where you get
Oh,
an
yeah,
IV?
that's the thing. That's the thing.
He's got a Blood Boy.
Yeah.
He
I got Blood Boy.
He just sits in his villa in Italy and just has a Blood Boy just
Yeah.
transfuses blood
Comes
to
with the
him.
airstream. They lay underneath.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm drinking. I'm drinking another. This is another Vault Brewing beer. This one's called Bear Hug, and this is a. Ooh, I remember reading this when you picked this up and saying I need to do a hard pour.
This guy.
This is a.
What happened was I gave you 2 beers. I told you not to drink one of them. And then you drank that one.
Well,
now we have this one.
I didn't listen. So this is called a Nitro Oatmeal Stout. This is a 6%.
Oh yeah, no, you should do a hard pour.
An oatmeal stout. A nitro suggests that you need to pour it hard
Do it.
to release the nitrous in the beer, and that releases the flavor.
Yeah, you got 5 minutes. Pour it out.
I'm pretty nervous, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I might make a mess.
We're never coming back.
I'll drink it. It's fine. Just pour it on the table.
We're never allowed back. All right. Okay.
If you see it going out of control,
I'll stop it.
step into a dream.
Ooh.
Arrest it. You know, like
That sounded like a Christopher Walken impression. Arrest it.
step into a dream.
Yeah, go ahead.
Arrest it.
It's real. It's a real nitro. Here we
Okay,
go.
yeah, look, it's not foaming up.
What the hell?
Yeah.
You gotta trust it. Okay, I'm not trusting it.
Beautiful.
You should have I don't think well, there is 16 ounces in there. Can we continue to pour it and see?
Surface tension. You
Yeah,
got
I
the
mean,
surface tension.
There's a
yeah,
there's,
you can create a
there's
meniscus.
enough there's enough left in this to make a little bit of a mess.
Oh yeah, there was a lot in there.
I'll hard pour into my face.
Yeah. Vault really overloading their beers. You
Good
know,
for-
that's
good
more
for
than
them.
16 ounces, and I'm
Generous.
impressed. Yeah.
Vault, thank you very much.
They know if anything under 16 ounces is an illegal pour, they have to make it over.
They got to
They're right.
stay. You know, it's like the line on like the British glasses.
So I want anyone watching this to see this. This is a beautiful head on this beer. It's maybe some people would say it's not enough. It's to me.
What could he have done? What could he have done?
I could
Those
have poured
people.
it. I could have poured it a little bit harder.
How? You had it upside down.
A little bit of just,
Yeah, I could have done like a
You could have
break
cut
in
the
between.
top off of it.
yeah. I mean, I could have hard poured the entire thing in. You know what? Let's talk about the glass. Let's see who made this glassware. I see it says Buffalo on it, but I don't think they gave me a 16-ounce glass here. I think somebody's
Yeah.
cheating me.
Yeah.
Glass makers, callers.
Whoever made this.
Call into our hotline.
I have to get a Holly.
That's not part of the package, is it?
Look,
What? Time?
I mean, we're close.
We got 3 minutes to finish these beers. Let's move.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
I want to say that this is really very good. I'm a fan.
Okay, you encounter a bear in the woods. What do you do? I know the answer, I think.
Zigzag. No, that's an alligator.
No.
Crocodile. Neither?
I think you curl up in a ball.
Fetal position.
Yeah. And if you encounter a mountain lion, I think you go big, right?
I encountered one of those a few months ago.
A mountain lion?
Yeah, at PNC.
Did you go big?
At PNC?
Yeah, no, I saw a cub. So the mama must have been around. We just hit a deer.
That's a little scarier.
She was like walking on the top rim of the,
She
the
was in
theater.
a parking lot. No, just looking around at the trash cans.
You saw the mom?
No.
the baby.
The baby.
But you're right. You know the mom somewhere.
Yeah.
You said you had
Horrifying.
just hit a deer.
We just hit a deer.
So that-
going 65 on the parkway totaled the car.
Oh my god.
No.
And we were just like, all right, we got to see what the damage is. Oh, that's a mountain lion.
Yeah.
Let's get back in the car.
But you know the mom was probably like, "Ooh, I see some dinner right there."
I see some prime rib.
Yeah. Can't wait for them to get out of here. I'm gonna go scoop that thing up.
At PNC?
Yeah, man, it's wild.
But you were just driving past on the parkway, right? You were,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, anybody who's listened this far, here's some advice. If you see an alligator or crocodile, zigzag. If you see a mountain lion, John says
Either
go
get big or get back in the car. There's conflicting advice here.
Both, I think, are probably fair. And if you see a bear, I thought go big for a bear. I thought you try to make yourself as big as possible.
You're not going to be big.
But you open your arms and you say,
Be big.
I'm a bear.
Bears also may have like an elephant thing going on where like you get on the ground and you kind of go squeak, 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 squeak and pretend to be a mouse. They might run away.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. But
I haven't tried it yet.
you know what? You don't know. Who are the people that are giving this advice, by the way? They're like, hey, if a bear attacks you...
Bears.
Bear Grylls.
Bears are doing it.
It's like,
Bear
okay.
Grylls.
Bear Grylls.
Real bears are like writing the playbooks for this. Like, all right, this idiot read my book. I know what to do with this guy.
He goes down on the ground and you're just like,
We're gonna destroy him.
oh, he read the book. Okay.
What an idiot.
Cute.
He's pretending like he's a baby. What a dummy. I'm gonna eat him. Alligator's
If
like,
the
look at this
paper-
asshole running
if
in
the paper
zigzags.
you're reading for bear advice has like scratches all over it, Don't do that.
Yeah, and if it's written in like clearly written in like scratch marks on a piece of wood, right? Like,
Well, people,
we made it.
this has been Beer Broadcast episode
Nope.
Good Not Great, episode 5. We have talked about a ton of stuff. Hit us up.
Can we
On
recap
the
real
gram.
quick what we talked about?
Talked about Inception. We talked about
Let's start from the beginning.
the beers that we drank. We talked about the pee with the pants down, and we
Stream
talked
one, what is the Airstream?
the
There- yep, there we
Airstream.
go.
We talked about how great this place is. We talked about how
We talked about how John pees with his pants at his ankles. We talked about how when
His
he does
thighs.
that, what? At his thighs.
Thighs.
His thighs, you're right.
I think it's like, okay, one time when we were little, my mom brought our dog Kendall to Bad Dog's house, and that dog had a hump, and taught Kendall to hump, and Kendall came home humping, This guy in the bathroom with his pants down taught me how to
Okay,
pee.
I was gonna say, please quickly draw the connection from the dog humping to what we're talking about, and you did it. You did great.
Okay,
Taught
and we'll
John
see
the
you.
Humpty Bump.
John now is well. Hold on, you learned something extra from this guy. You learned that.
No, you got to close the door.
Well, no. Well, sure, that's sort of a
That
universal
was
rule,
his
but
rookie mistake.
what you learned was that, maybe the hips is not low enough, but you learned that maybe the ankles is, and you found somewhere in between.
We will see you next week.